So my name is the White Shadow Norway. I'm a hip hop producer and turntablist from Norway, of course. Since I was a kid, my dad he was a musician. He was a guitar player, and there was always music around the house. When I grew up, he used to play a lot of music, and my favorite music that he would play was funk like James Brown or Stevie Wonder or like the early disco records. Stuff like Van McCoy, The Hustle, and all that good stuff back in the mid 70s. So by the late 70s, I started DJing at school parties and stuff like that. And from there, I went on to DJ at local kids discos and youth clubs and stuff. So I was into DJing and disco especially. And one of the biggest disco tracks was, of course, Good Times by Chick. So when Sugar Hill Gang made the rap version of it, Rapper's Delight, I was pretty much hooked from then on. Like a classmate brought like a little turntable with a built-in amplifier to the class, and he had just bought that record, so he played it in front of the class, and everybody thought it sounded really weird, but really great. So, and especially me, since I was familiar with Shake Good Times. So, Rapper's Delight. That's what got me into rapping. Then from there, other rap records that came out at the time, like Jocko by Rhythm Talk, Rappo Clappo by Joe Bataan, Super Rappin' by Grandmaster Flash and the Furious Five, the early Spoonie G records, all that stuff came out here through the club DJs were the first to play that out here and get it known. But some of those records I just mentioned became big pop hits out here, like Sugar Gang Rapper's Delight was peaked at number 2 on the Norwegian pop charts in 1980 actually. So hip hop was out here from the beginning of it on records anyway. I find inspiration mostly from listening to different kinds of music. I'm also into movies a lot, and especially horror movies, so I get inspiration there and just everyday life and everything. It's kind of hard to be unique, I guess, in 2012 since hip hop's been around on record now since 1979, and so many styles of music been sampled and put into it, and so much already been done. So I'm not exactly sure, but I like to say that since I also live in New York, that my beats are a combination of the streets of New York and the beautiful nature of Norway. So you got the real hard boom bap drums and everything in it, and you got sort of like beautiful strings or really violent orchestra and everything that you could get Norway from. That kind of music comes from Norway, like the old classical music and everything. So I guess a combination of those two. I'm just doing my thing, really. I'm just trying to do what I want to do. I'm trying to not to put any boundaries on myself. I do like my music, my hip hop hard though. I like it hardcore. I'm not into all that pop rap stuff with all the singers and all that. I like to build on what was done back in the 80s and 90s and don't go off in a totally different direction. So it's also got a lot of times a cinematic horror inspired feel to it since I'm into horror movies and all that as well. In the music business, over the years, I think that people that I consider friends who just took advantage of me to gain something for themselves is what's been the hardest to deal with. Like people you really think you're tight with, and you think they're your best friends and everything, but after a while, when they get what they want through you, you start to see what they really like and the consequences of that. So I think that's been the hardest coping with actually losing people that you thought were really good friends over this music business and everything. I hope I get remembered for having made some minor hip hop classics at the least, and also, I'd like to be remembered for that I never sold out. I had plenty of opportunities to make more commercial music, to make hip hop more commercial, but I never wanted to do that because I always felt that that part of it ruined the culture, and especially now where everything's taken off in a really commercial, watered down pop version of it. So I'd like to be remembered for one of the very few handful, I would say, few people that still kept it real to what hip hop is really about, and just keeping that raw street feel to the music. And I feel that I've accomplished a lot what I want to do with hip hop production and hip hop music now. I worked with and I've been featured on tracks with just about all of the artists that I like and wanted to do tracks with. And I feel that I pushed my beats and my cuts as well to the limits of what's possible. Of course, that's going to develop as the years go by as well. But I've been creating so much. I've been making so much beats, and I've been scratching since '81, and it's 2012 now. So that's 30 years of scratching. So I pretty much know where it can go and where what the limits are. So I got a brand new album out right now called 666. It's got features from KRS One, Raekwon, Immortal Technique, Cool G Rap, Cannabis, Crooked Eye, a lot of people. So go cop that on iTunes, and you can find my other albums there as well.